Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to give a quick tour of the EDI PC garage. It's such a mess right now, but I guess that just means I'm busy. Let's start off with the supply rack over here. When I was heavy into crypto mining, these were filled with octominers, and man, those are the days. So fun. I eventually pivoted to mostly building PCs and flipping them for a nice little profit. But on this top rack, I used to keep small components like fans, various cables, RAM kits, and CPUs. Going down to the bottom here, I tended to keep finished PCs here that were not yet, matched up with a buyer or anything. But I also kept sub-assemblies over here, much like this 5900X with this B550 Strix and 32 gigabytes of DDR4. Going lower, I would keep larger supplies like motherboards and power supplies. I'm a little bit light on these right now, but I'm working on resupplying those. And I used to have a dedicated PC or a test rig, but I keep cannibalizing them for salad rigs and whatnot. So I started to build up another one over here. And pretty much starting over here, we have 64 gigabytes of DDR4. You have a older 6700 Intel chip, 512 gigabytes for storage, a 750 watt EVGA bronze power supply, this white Thermalright CPU cooler, and I just picked up one of these $20 test rigs on Amazon. Moving over, actually this was a DDR5 kit that came back from G.Skill. They're pretty good with their RMA service, but this kit was, there's something wrong with it essentially. It wouldn't load Expo, so I sent it back to G.Skill and they sent it back to me almost within a week. Jumping down to the GPU commissary over here, I have a couple of 4060 Ti's from Galax. This white arrow one right here is also another 4060 Ti. And let's see what else we got here. And we have a Founders Edition 2070 Super left in my inventory. Again, I'm working on sourcing more, but I guess it's good that I've been selling these PCs off. And then this bin over here has a bunch of older budget cards like this. I believe that's a 1080, and then I think it's a Vega 64 or something like that, and a few older GTX, I think 970s down there. So we're saving those for budget builds, which I don't really tend to concentrate on, as the demand for those is a little bit less and profits tend to be lower as well. What else we got here? All right, moving on to my salad rigs over here. Before I would go on to the salad rigs, so this is my garage monitor. It's essentially a 38-inch Alienware. I know it's a little bit overkill, but I like I like nice monitors, so picked it up. Got my trusty LTT screwdriver. Honestly, I initially thought it was a little bit too costly, but honestly, I think it's worth every penny. Now that I've used it in a couple of my builds, it's got nice ratcheting. It's a pretty solid quality screwdriver. So going over to this first PC over here, this is the original PC for the garage, and you can see it's got a 4090 in there from Aorus. It's got a little LCD screen. It's a 14700K. It's got 64 gigabytes of DDR5 and 6,000 mega transfers. And I believe it's a Z790 Aorus master board as well. Jumping down to the other 4090, we got a Aero 4090 in here with a 7900 XT. And again, it's got 64 gigabytes of DDR4. And I believe an X670E Strix motherboard. So that's nice. Moving over here, we got a 4080 Super Zotac. That's the white one, of course, as you can see. And this one has a 13600 or 13700K in here, and a Z790 Asus Prime with 64 gigabytes of DDR5 as well. And moving on to the last one over here, we have another 7900X with a 4080 Super from MSI, the Supreme X. 64 gigabytes of DDR5, and yeah, another X670E Asus Prime motherboard. And lastly, moving on to the case commissary, case depot, we have a few cases here that I have queued up for builds. Got a Cooler Master. That Zalman one down there was a bundle with CPU cooler and I think a 650 watt power supply. And this last one is a Musatex case, and this one has like something crazy like 8 or 9 ARGB fans in it. And again, yeah, I got these queued up for some builds. And then lastly over here, we have some builds that are matched up with a buyer, and I'm going to be meeting up with them later this week. So just getting this one ready for pickup by the customer on Facebook Marketplace. You can see it's not too flashy, no RGB or anything. It's just got maybe some of the LEDs off of the 3070 PNY card in there. And just take a look at the parts, what it cost me. You can see it's a EVGA 650 watt GA gold power supply, a 3800X for the CPU, B550M Aorus, some sort of Be Quiet AIO. I'm not too familiar with this one, but I got it in a bundle deal on Facebook. The Fractal case, 16 gigabytes of DDR4, 1 terabyte NVMe, and of course the 3070 PNY. So all in all, it cost me $405.89, and I'll be selling this later on for $650. So not a bad profit there. And prior to every sale, I like to run some sort of taxing benchmark multiple times just to make sure everything's all good. I tend to just run, this free one, superposition benchmark. If they ask for something special, I'll do like 3D Mark or actually do some games or whatever. But this should be pretty good and indicative of the health of the GPU in the system. Yeah, one more thing that I did forget to mention was that the buyer actually bought from me almost a year ago, last summer. I guess sort of like the lesson here is to just treat your customer right eventually, or maybe not, but maybe they'll come back for a follow-up PC. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting and sort of a feel good. I guess the guy had a good enough experience that he wanted to come back for another one. So yeah, just keep that in mind when dealing with your customers out there. All right, that's it, guys. See you next one.